Just seeing something where some person on the TV is saying how that poor guy had said that this General Milley should be executed by firing squad. And I cannot say that's exactly what was said, because I haven't heard it put that succinctly yet. What it did make me think, though, first thing that went through my head was, that's the way I want to go. What you need to realize is that with the idea of being executed for a prison sentence, I've already gone over the other things, the way to go. I would really like the fucking firing squad if I were able to choose. That does not mean I'm inviting a bunch of people over here to take me against a tree in a firing squad. I mean, the neighbors might have something to say about it. They might be involved. However, if you come over here thinking that you're invited and I'm asking for it, I want you to know you're not welcome. You're not welcome. I move pretty fast in the shade. Back off. 6 feet. Let's get close enough to talk if you got anything going on. Because problems cannot be solved without speaking with one another and communicating. Slow down, man. But the truth is, yeah, firing squad. They say he's calling for the firing squad for that guy. And it's like, geez, you must be afraid of him because you're letting him off light. I mean, what better way to go if you're being tried for a crime and it's a prison sentence? Death by Unga Bunga. No. That's not the only way to go. And there's plenty of time to wait. There's plenty of time to wait. We're in no hurry for any of this. Plane crash has always been my favorite. I don't take favorites on many things unless they excel. The idea of being in a fucking plane crash, to die in a plane crash, it's like, yeah, yeah, you know. It's not likely the plane explodes in the middle of the fucking sky unless you were hit by a fucking scud or something. That's unlikely. So, a wing blows off, engines go out. Yeah, you're like, we're gonna fucking die, and the pilot's cussing and screaming and crying on the radio, and you hear the fucking the whiskey bottles fucking smashing around in there. You know, they've given up on everything. You know you're going to die. have time to think about it. Not only do you have time to think about it, sit there, because I just talked about this last week. There's a 27-minute video called A Locomotive Arm and the Tall Priest. It speaks about the zone. It speaks about just fucking pure focus. It speaks about those instances where all the giggling fuckers in the background are no longer heard. All the distractions, all the flashing of light off the fucking 78 days without a workplace incident thing, they're not catching your attention. It's just this guy going, rah, and fucking killing somebody, and you run up and you go, ah. You don't even see that. You just grab him by the lats firmly, but softly let him know that he's okay. Because you don't want to have to fight this gorilla yourself. And you say, slow down, man. And you've hypnotized him with all the times you've said his name before. And you realize what you've been doing is hypnotizing him every time you see him. Slow down, man. Say his name. Slow down, man. Because you don't want this gorilla ripping your arms off. So, I don't know how we got onto that. I was thinking about how we have plenty of time to think about all the good things we've done, all the bad things we've done. We're not afraid of dying. And after stopping the onslaught, I moved back to my position, and there's not a single solitary person that was in that room today, and everybody was there. I went by one to stop the onslaught, and she doesn't remember me there. Nobody sees me. And so I got back to my place within 2 seconds at the most, I'd suppose it happened. Because I'm like fucking Spider-Man. And immediately back at my place of standing where nobody even knew I moved from, I ejaculated. I uttered unexpectedly to the crowd, 0 days, no workplace incidences. So, yeah, we start fresh again. Somebody just got fucking staples. And that's not a commercial for your office. Point is, on the airplane on the way down, after you have time to think about this stuff, yeah, and to let it coalesce, what it is you mean to take with you, if there is a possibility, which there will always be possibilities. There's even a possibility for a God that loves you and does all the things he does when nobody's looking. There's a possibility for that guy too. He looks nice. They have to make him look like some guy you might recognize. Otherwise, you wouldn't let him take advantage of you so. You go through all that in that moment of focus. And you do get a moment of focus in a plane crash as it's going down. 90 seconds, English measure time, a moment. I would give it a moment that you get to just focus and compress and take everything and think about your life, and then still have time to look at the woman next to you that's screaming and just go, ha 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 ha, it's a fine day to die, you know, something like that, and then burn in, and you're like, fuck. It's a good way to go, but there's something better to it. The possibility that this is the way you want to go. Fate fucks with people, right? It may be that you wanted it to go that way, and you even chose that aircraft, that flight, because you'd heard bad things about him from a mechanic that's scabbing against the strike for the mechanics, automatic, something like that. Still, that's not your fate. You fucking survived the crash, and you have time to run around and take everybody's fucking wallets. You got a backpack, you just empty it, yours. There's nothing in it worth anything anyway, and you just start taking fucking wallets and packing them into your fucking case, and you grab a dead baby already. When the people are arriving, you're like, oh shit, they're out there. So you got as much as you could get. You grab a dead baby and you come out and go, I did everything I could. And you'll be in the news and you'll have a radio show like Cato Kalin from the OJs. He did quite well, actually. And he's a likable enough guy. So there's the way I would prefer to die. But another fun way would be just to somehow create a brownout in New York City and be standing on the tallest building you can find if you're suicidal. See, these other two aspects are in no way suicidal. But if you're like suicidal and let's have some fun with it, that's what I think. I always would like to somehow be able to get with the people from Die Hard 2 or whichever one it was when they shut down the grid and let it go brown out in fucking New York City. Why? For some maniacal plan to fucking take over the world? No, because I want somebody to see this. That's why women who commit suicide, my cousin, what I've heard about some people, they'll shoot themselves in the chest because they want to look good in their coffin, and then they die in an ambulance after waiting fucking 30 minutes for a 911 call to show up, you know, something like that, and they suffer and they have time to regret it. These people, they fucking did this to themselves. They don't think about how good their life was when they're dying. They think about the regrets. But if I happen to be doing a suicidal thing, shut down, brown out, blackout, sorry, it'd be nighttime, and but on a nice cloud-covered day in a brownout, it might make good lighting, be on top of one of these tallest buildings where there are all these people walking around down below, and just douse myself in gasoline, light up and jump off head first, coming down at the ground. And at the end, I'd say, fish your food, just to give them something to think about. And they would think I was like the Human Torch or something. They'd be like, oh my God, he's coming to save democracy. And then you just splash all over the ground and burn up in front of their eyes like a fucking vampire. There are so many ways to die, so many ways. If you get to choose, that's the best part. I'm not going to die in a plane crash. I'm not going to die by getting hit by a bus. That bus in China was the one, and I stood there and I went, ooh, this is the one. I would joke about it all the time. Be careful what you joke about lest you become it. I'd always say, I don't know, I could get hit by a bus. And this big blue bus came flying around the corner, and I said, and the driver was looking at me, and I went, just like that, and turned sideways and went blown by. I said, that was the bus that was supposed to get me. Missed my bus again. Just smoke a cigarette, another one will be along.